So we're back with episode 4, Reap What You Sow, Ambitions. And Stephanie heads up to Birmingham to look up Amara's old fling, Damian Collins. She offers him a job to join her on to work on a Purifoy case. And basically he sees right through her. He's like, yeah, I know you're not really here for that, and you're trying to use me because I used to date Amara and her husband. So he sees right through it. He doesn't want anything to do with it. But of course, Stephanie, she's not going to roll over that easy. So Stephanie blackmails him and say, well, you could say no, or you could say yes, because I have this file from this case that you falsified some evidence, and it's really not going to look too good if I bring it up to your boss's attention. So she gives him 48 hours to think about it, make a decision, although she already knew she had him by the balls, basically, and he was going to come around. So Mr. Purifoy calls Titus in his office because he wants to bribe a judge. And Titus, with all his integrity, is not going to bribe. He refuses. He says, no, I can because they need a certain judge on that case. And so Purifoy says, if we get this judge, if you can convince whoever ruling judge to put this judge on the case, then, we have a better chance of winning. So Titus says, no, I'm just going to use logic and reasoning and talk to him rationally and ask. Bella is dressing her friend, and she tells her friend she misses Evan because the last time Evan got really upset that, he was coming over to kind of cool things off with her, and she got mad because she didn't want to lose him. So her boyfriend Roderick came over, and because she was mad at him, Evan had went into a side room, and he basically hid in the room because he didn't want Roderick to know. And he listened to them have sex. So yeah, he was pretty pissed. So he was really done. After Roderick left, or they thought Roderick left, he was pissed. He didn't want nothing else to do with Bella. He was mad. But we all know he can't go too far because he has a son with Bella. So, but Roderick was hanging out in the hallway and he caught the whole thing. So he saw Evan come out of Bella's room. So he hasn't approached her yet. He hasn't asked her anything about it, so we don't know what he's gonna do with that information yet. So anyway, so she's talking to her friend and she's like, oh, I miss him. He won't even respond. I'm trying to apologize. He's ignoring me. And the friend is like, look, he been doing all this dirt to you. He's still married. Like, he puts you to the side. He doesn't acknowledge you publicly. Like, why are you putting up with this? And she's like, oh, because one day I'm gonna be Bella True, this name brand company, and we're going to live in a governor's mansion and da-da-da. And the friend is like, girl, bye. You are living in a fantasy world. He's never going to leave his wife. So Amara's at Thelma's and she's talking to Rondell. Stephanie comes in to see what Senior's answer is going to be about selling the property. So Senior, surprisingly, decides not to sell. But Stephanie is not going to roll over that easy. She's not, you know how she is. She's not taking no for an answer. So Evan is trying to bring this major electrical company to bring their headquarters to Atlanta. And he gets that screenshot of him and Bella having sex. So it freaks him out. Amara reports back to her boss that she thinks Greg Peters is the link to the mayor's illegal activities. Her boss thinks that since Stephanie is representing Peters, that Stephanie must know too. So now they're trying to bring everybody down in that whole little circle. So Titus goes to talk to the judge. But the judge says, he pats him down and checks him. I guess he's looking for a wire because he's about to say something illegal. So he asks him, well, I could do what you want me to do, but there's some work I need done on my lake house and da-da-da before that. So he goes back to tell Mr. Purifoy. And Mr. Purifoy said, well, how did things go? What did the judge say? And he says, well, he did not agree to us. And so Mr. Purifoy says, good. And then Titus tells him what happened. I was so annoyed, or what's the word I'm looking for? Embarrassed that he pats me down. I got patted down by a judge. And so it's kind of like a trust issue. Like, I don't trust you to talk freely around you. And Mr. Purefoy says, oh, but don't worry about it because I was testing your integrity. I didn't want to do it illegally anyway. So I don't believe Mr. Purefoy. He looked like a crook. He looked sneaky and conniving. And he looked like, I don't trust him. So he'll look like he'll do something like that. So Evan asked Stephanie to help him bring Beta New because the owner of the electrical company, his wife went to college with Stephanie and Amar. So he feels like the wife can convince the husband to do anything. If she says she loves Atlanta, let's move here, he'll move there. Stephanie says she'll try, but she's not sure. So they need him to come to Atlanta anyway to replace the Purefoy as the major company once she bankrupts Purefoy. So she calls a press conference to announce that she's gonna be asking for $500 million, woo, in this class action lawsuit against the Purefoys. She calls Nick after the press conference. She calls Nick because the 48 hours for Damian Collins was up. And just as she was going to call Nick to tell him to go with the next stage, Nick gets in her car and reluctantly tells her that he will work with her. So Rondell organizes a protest. The Banks is not for sale. The Banks is not for sale. So the Banks is like the name of the neighborhood or the nickname for the neighborhood that they call it. And she gets upset she's about to get arrested by this cop because Greg Peters had brought their police down there, but it was a black female police. And so the cop realizes, wait a minute, this is the mayor's sister. She's like, I ain't arresting the mayor's sister and I'm going to lose my job. No. So Peters gets mad and walks away. So Evan finally sees Bella. He meets her in a back alley. She gets in the car. And he tells her he's not going to help her get the concession for the business. And she says, you owe me. Your son is not easy. It's the wrong time. And, so Bella wants to move forward, even though Evan, they go back and forth with that. Bella wants to do it. Evan tells her not to do it. And basically it's just a fight for who's going to win. And let me tell y'all, Evan was not playing with her, okay? Because by the time she got home, Evan had moved every piece of furniture, or had somebody move every piece of furniture out of Bella's house, except for the son's room. She didn't touch the child's room. His stuff was still intact. But, furniture, chairs, couch, rugs, stuff on the wall, everything was gone. It was an empty apartment. So Evan is not playing with her, and he's flexing his muscles. So, like I said, Stephanie got Damian to join the legal team, basically to distract Titus from winning and to flirt with Amara to try to get her back. So I feel like Robin Gibbons is the perfect person to play this role because she is everything that Stephanie Lancaster is. She's smart, she's beautiful, she's powerful, she's intimidating. She's like that Veronica Harrington role, Also, who else reminds me of that is the Lady Mae in Greenleaf. They all kind of play that good black girl, nice and nasty role. Like they know how to present themselves in public, but behind the scenes, baby, they will get you together.
Jersey B.